And then مناع عن الخير معتد مريب. مناع means, again, hyperbolic. It's they're constantly refusing to do good for people. معتد يعتدي على الناس. They're aggressive people that aggress upon others. مريب. One of the meanings of that is they cause doubt. They sow doubt. They sow doubt. They love to sow doubt in people's hearts. الذي جعل مع الله إلها آخر. Those who put gods beside Allah. فألقياه في العذاب الشديد. Put them in this intense chastisement. قال قرينه ربنا ما أطغيته. And then this is Shaitan. So there's a takhasum. The Quran tells us that they argue in hell. I mean, and it also tells you about their personalities. They didn't learn how not to argue in dunya. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't argue. He never argued. He did have debate. Like he used to go to the midrash and he would talk to the rabbis. But he wasn't somebody who would ever argue. Imam Malik never argued. And Imam Malik said, لَيْسَ الْجِدَالْ مِنَ الدِّينِ فِي شَيْءٍ. Argumentation is not part of our religion. And flee from argumentative people. Just flee from them. If you meet people because it's a sickness. People love to argue. They have these books on how to win every argument. I don't want to win every argument. Like, who wants to win every argument? That in itself is a disease. Because Imam Shafi'i, this is our tradition. Imam Shafi'i said, I never debated anyone except that I prayed that the truth would be on their tongue and not mine, so that I could submit to it. Because his nafs would have a hadd in winning the argument. Whereas if it came from the other person, his nafs had no hadd, so there was more submission in it. Completely different way of viewing reality. Completely different way of viewing reality. So he says, the Qareen, مَا أَضْغَيْتُهُ. I didn't lead him astray. Because see, Allah doesn't, and it's almost like He doesn't give the person the honor of having his declaration in this chapter. Because there's a missing part, which is, he says, Adghani, that's the one he led me astray. So the person who's going to help points to the Shaitan and says, no, he did it, he got me here. And then so the Qareen then says, no, ma adghaytuhu. I didn't do it. Ma adghaytuhu. You see, and this is, so Iblis, and again, one of the most amazing things, it really is one of the truly most amazing things about this book. And the more you get into this book, the more you will realize this, because the deep structure of this book is uncanny, because it's from Allah. You will see this book never contradicts itself. But because it's a book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to receive His revelation with tadabbur. It's not like a book where it's just all spelt out to you. You have to think about it, because this is what we were created to do, to think, to ponder, to contemplate. The Prophet ﷺ said 1 hour of meditation is better than 60 years of worship. Contemplation. This is our fort. This is our bailiwick. This is what the human being really truly has been given, is this ability. All the other creatures out there, they're all in dhikr. They're all doing dhikr. They're not doing fikr. They're all in dhikr. Everything, the birds, the bees, the whales. The whales are amazing, if you've ever heard those whale sounds. But Allah gave us this incredible intellect. And so he says, رَبَّنَا مَا أَطْغَيْتُ. I didn't lead him astray. And this is why Shaitan, when he gets everybody, once it's when the whole amr is done, right? وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ إِذَا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ. When the amr is done, Shaitan gets there and he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ. Allah, He promised you, and His promise was true. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. And I promised you, but I was lying. أخلفتكم. So it's only a wa'd. Shaitan has no power over you. He can't put a gun to your back, right? He can't put a gun to your back. All he can do is suggest things. That's all. That's his power, is the power of suggestion, which is, it's powerful. Suggestion is very powerful. But for somebody who has any inner sights, any awareness, right? So, لما قضي الأمر, right? Shaitan, he gives his khutbah on, apparently on a mimbar of fire. And so he says to him, إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم. وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان. I didn't have any authority over you. إلا أن دعوتكم. I just invited you. فاستجبتم لي. You responded to my invitation. It was just an invitation. RSVP. It was just an invitation. You didn't have to do your RSVP. You could have said, sorry, not interested, right? But you came. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. His declaration of لَا تَلُومُونِي to me is, he's basically saying the blame game's over. You could do that in the dunya, can't do it here. Blame game's over. لُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Blame your own souls. مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ. I can't save you, because they go to him, because they were with him in the dunya, so then they go to him when everybody's going to they go to Shaitan. Hey, remember you promised us. Shaitan saying, "Ma ana bimusrikhikum." I can't save you. وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِي. إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا شَرَكْتُمُونِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. I'm a kafir of what you associated with me. I reject it. I disbelieve in it. إِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. The oppressors will have a painful chastisement now. So that's it. مَا أَضَيْتُ. That's what he says. We didn't lead them astray. وَلَكِنْ كَانَ فِي ضَلَالٍ بَعِيدٍ. They were woefully astray. قَالَ لَا تَخْتَصِمُوا لَدَيَّ وَقَدْ قَدَّمْتُ إِلَيْكُمْ بِالْوَعِيدِ. Don't argue in my presence. This is Allah. Don't argue in my presence. The argument's over. So you had your chance. There's no, and there's a court to be, and this is another thing about the Yawm al-Qiyamah, which is so interesting, because again, everything in the dunya is to teach us about the akhirah. It's all there. So in the dunya, in our sharia, al-qadi la yaqdi bi-ilmihi. This is in our sharia, the qadi does not judge by his knowledge. He has to recuse himself. So if you saw the murder, the qadi doesn't judge, but he's not a witness in his own. Because Allah does not judge by his knowledge. Allah doesn't judge by his knowledge. Allah doesn't need witnesses, but he's letting us know. No, here's the witnesses. You did this on such and such a day. The hands say, I stole this. He made me do it. The hand doesn't want to go to hell. أَنْطَقَهُ اللَّهُ الَّذِي أَنْطَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. He makes everything speak on that day. لا تختصموا لدي وقد قدمت إليكم بالوعيد. I told you about this. I told you this day was going to happen. And you didn't believe it. ما يبدل القول لدي وما أنا بظلام للعبيد. So, first of all, there's no, the qawl is لَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ. Allah promised, he swore an oath that he would fill hell with the ins and jinn. So that's not going to be لا يبدل القول. That's not going to be, and that's why the Murji'iyah, who were a group that actually believed that everything was just, it was all takhweef, that there wasn't really going to be like any punishment or anything. This was all just to scare people. So this rejects that there will be people, there has to be. This is a promise. وَمَا أَنَا بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. The Mufassirun said, why dhallam here? And they said because the abid is plural. So if there was dhulm for a whole bunch, then it would be a dhallam. It would be a hyperbole. So But there's other ones. ما ظلمناهم ولكن كانوا أنفسهم يظلمون. We didn't oppress them, but they were oppressing themselves.